All right, let's be real for a second. You ever look back at life and think, man, I wish someone had told me that sooner? Well, buckle up, because today I'm spilling the tea on life lessons people learn way too late. Trust me, some of these will make you rethink everything. And hey, before you say, nah, I've got life figured out, guess what? You don't, and that's okay. I didn't either. So let's dive into the hard truths, the good laughs, and the stuff no one else will tell you but should. 1. Your job doesn't define you. Let me start with something that might get a few people riled up. Your job does not define you. Yeah, I said it. I know society's out here telling us that your value is tied to your title. Oh, you're a lawyer. Must be so successful. Wait, you're a barista? Cute side gig. Can we not? Here's the hard truth. If your entire sense of self is wrapped up in your job, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Jobs come and go. Some of them are amazing and some suck the soul out of you, but none of them define who you are as a person. There was a time when I was totally guilty of this. I worked in a high-pressure job with a good title and decent pay, and guess what? I was miserable. But I clung to it because I thought, well, this is who I am now. This is what people will respect me for. Spoiler alert, nobody cares about your title when you're drowning in stress, skipping lunch to make deadlines, and hating your life. Now I'm doing something completely different, and here's the kicker, I'm way happier. Even though my new job isn't something that would wow people at a dinner party, you know what? I don't care anymore, and that's the freedom I want you to experience. Oh, what do I do for a living? I'm a professional badass who values peace of mind. How about you? Honestly, that's how we should be introducing ourselves. No one should have to list a job title to prove their worth. You're worth more than the number on your paycheck or the fancy name on your business card. You're worth the way you treat people, the passions you pursue, and how you live your life. Let me take it one step further. Obsessing over your job is a distraction. It's a way of avoiding the stuff that really matters. Yeah, I said it. When you're so consumed with climbing the career ladder, sometimes you forget to ask yourself, wait, am I actually happy, or am I just chasing status? Here's the thing, your job can be a part of you, but it's not all of you. You are a whole person with dreams, relationships, and a life outside of work. I realized this when I had a wake-up call one day. I looked in the mirror and asked myself, if I wasn't doing this job, would I still like who I am? And honestly, the answer was no. That was the moment I knew something had to change. So if you're in a job that doesn't bring you joy, or you're feeling like you're only as valuable as your title, here's your reminder. You're not your job. You're so much more. The sooner you figure that out, the sooner you can start building a life that actually feels good, not just looks good on paper. So yeah, next time someone asks, what do you do? Just hit them with, I live life, baby, because that's the truth. 2. Being nice won't save you. Okay, time for some real talk. Being nice won't save you. Yeah, I said it. Society loves to tell us to be kind, and good things will come to you. Spoiler alert, being nice isn't a magic formula for success or happiness, and it's certainly not going to stop people from walking all over you. Being nice doesn't always mean being respected. In fact, sometimes it's a fast pass to getting used and ignored. So back in the day, I was the nicest person in the room, always saying yes and never rocking the boat. And guess what? I ended up getting steamrolled. People knew I wouldn't push back, so they'd pile extra work on me, interrupt me in meetings, and take advantage of my kindness. Did I get rewarded for being the nice one? Absolutely not. I just got more overwhelmed and angrier. Let me hit you with a truth bomb. Nice people often finish last because they don't set boundaries. I didn't want to upset anyone, and in return I got no respect. Sound familiar? Look, I tried being Captain Nice, saving the world with my kindness, and you know what happened? I ended up with everyone's dirty laundry and zero thank yous. It's like you become the designated problem solver, but no one solves your problems. Turns out, being nice doesn't make you a hero, it just makes you available for everyone else's convenience. And trust me, that cape gets heavy after a while. Now don't get me wrong, kindness is important. But here's the controversial part. Too much niceness is a form of self-sabotage. Yep, I said it. When you're constantly bending over backwards for people, you're teaching them that your needs don't matter. And guess what? They'll believe you. Saying no doesn't make you a bad person, and setting boundaries doesn't make you selfish. It makes you smart. Because when you keep saying yes to everyone else, you're saying no to yourself. Here's the deeper lesson I've learned. Being nice is not the same as being authentic. For a long time, I thought I had to be agreeable and always say yes to be liked. But in trying to please everyone else, I was betraying myself. And trust me, that's a dangerous road. Being nice doesn't mean allowing others to disrespect you. True kindness starts with being kind to yourself. That means setting boundaries, saying no when you need to, and standing up for what you believe in, even if it ruffles a few feathers. I'll never forget the time I finally stood up for myself at work. I had this colleague who would constantly dump her tasks on me, knowing I wouldn't push back. One day, I snapped, politely of course, and said, "Sorry, I'm really swamped with my own work today. You'll have to figure it out." I was shaking, thinking the world would end, but guess what? The world didn't end. In fact, she stopped asking me to do her work. That one moment taught me that you can be firm without being mean and still keep your dignity intact. So here's the thing. You don't have to stop being a nice person, but you've got to pair that niceness with a backbone. Be nice, but not at the expense of your sanity, because no one's handing out awards for being the nicest doormat. Kindness is powerful, but it's even more powerful when it comes with self-respect. Being nice won't save you, but being nice with boundaries will. So next time you're about to say yes just to be liked, ask yourself, am I being kind, or am I just avoiding confrontation? The answer might surprise you. And remember, being nice doesn't mean being a pushover. It just means you know when to help and when to hand people their own problems. Trust me, they'll be fine. 3. Love isn't enough. All right, let's just cut the crap for a second. We've all grown up on this idea that love is all you need. Thanks, Hollywood. Thanks, Disney. I mean, how many times have we been fed that sweet little lie? Turns out love on its own isn't enough. Yeah, I said it, and honestly, some people are going to hate me for this one, because we've been brainwashed to believe that if you just love someone enough, everything will magically work out. Like all your problems gone, your differences smoothed over. But guess what? Love doesn't pay the bills, love doesn't solve communication issues, and love sure as hell won't fix a toxic relationship. Let me get real with you for a second. I was once in a relationship where we loved each other, no doubt about that. We had the chemistry, the passion, the butterflies, but we couldn't communicate to save our lives. Every argument was a disaster, and we never worked through anything. I kept telling myself, but we love each other, so it'll get better. Spoiler, it didn't. It took me a long time to realize that love isn't some magical glue that holds everything together. Without respect, trust, and real communication, love is like duct tape on a sinking ship. Sure, it might hold for a while, but eventually it's going down. So let's break it down, shall we? Here are the things love can't fix. Different life goals, bad communication, that one person who never does the dishes. Yeah, love doesn't stop you from wanting to strangle someone when they leave dirty dishes in the sink for the millionth time. But wait, I thought love could conquer anything. Sarcastic gasp, Newsflash, it can't. And that's okay. Love is important, but if you're banking on love alone to make a relationship work, you're in for a rude awakening. Here's where it gets spicy. Love doesn't always mean you should stay. Yeah, I said it. Sometimes you can love someone deeply and still have to walk away because love isn't enough to erase incompatible goals or fundamental differences. You can love someone and still be miserable with them. I know it's not the fairy tale ending we all want, but this is real life, not a rom-com. People stay in toxic, unhappy relationships because they think, well, we love each other, so it'll work out eventually. No, Karen, it won't. If you're constantly fighting, if you can't communicate without wanting to strangle each other, love isn't enough to patch that up. So here's what you need to know. Love is a beautiful thing, but it must be backed by effort and respect. It requires work, compromise, and a willingness to communicate openly. If you find yourself pouring your heart out only to be met with a wall of silence, or worse, disrespect, it's time to reevaluate. Love should be uplifting, not draining. It should inspire you to be a better person, not leave you feeling like you're walking on eggshells. At the end of the day, love is just one piece of the puzzle. You need friendship, shared values, and mutual respect to make a relationship thrive. When those elements are missing, love is just a pretty word. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that love is the ultimate solution. It's a crucial part of a relationship, but without the other pieces, you're just building a house of cards waiting to collapse. So if you're holding on to a relationship for dear life, because I love them, take a step back. Ask yourself if love is enough to justify the pain. 4. Perfection doesn't exist. Okay, let's set the record straight. Perfection doesn't exist. Yeah, I said it, and it's time we all wake up and smell the reality. Society's pushing this idea of perfection on us. Perfect body, perfect job, perfect relationships. And it's all a load of crap. Striving for perfection is like chasing a mirage in the desert. It's not real, and it will leave you parched and empty. Let me give you the truth. Perfection is a killer of joy. I spent years chasing the perfect version of myself, thinking that once I hit that mythical mark, I'd finally be happy. But guess what? I was never satisfied. I was constantly looking at myself and thinking, you should lose 10 more pounds. Why can't you get that promotion? Why don't you have a house yet? And you know what happened? I lost sight of everything that actually made me happy because I was too focused on an unattainable standard. Here's the kicker. No one else is perfect either. We're all just humans stumbling through life, making mistakes, and hoping for the best. The sooner you accept that no one has it all together, the sooner you'll be free to enjoy life for what it is. Striving for perfection means you're constantly measuring yourself against some imaginary ideal, and it keeps you from appreciating where you are right now. It's time to ditch the all-or-nothing mindset. Just because you can't be perfect doesn't mean you can't be great. Let's break this down further. You might be sitting there thinking, well, if I can't be perfect, what's the point? The point is that perfectionism is a huge roadblock to growth. When you're always aiming for perfection, you're often too afraid to try new things or take risks. You end up stalling out, waiting for the right moment that never comes. It's like you're holding your own life hostage while you wait for everything to line up perfectly. Look, life is messy and unpredictable. You're going to fail, you're going to embarrass yourself, and you're going to make mistakes. And guess what? That's all part of the journey. Instead of waiting for perfection, embrace the imperfections. They make you human. They make you relatable. Learning to laugh at your mistakes and take life less seriously is a game changer. Perfection is a moving target, and the closer you think you get, the further it moves away. I learned this the hard way when I was too busy trying to look perfect in public. I had my makeup done, my hair done, my outfit looking fly, but deep down, I felt like an imposter. When I finally let go of that image, I found a sense of freedom. I could be real, raw, and messy. And you know what? People actually connected with me more when I dropped the perfection act. When I stopped pretending everything was perfect, I realized it was okay to be flawed. It's okay to have a bad hair day, to mess up in front of people, or to feel lost sometimes. So here's your homework. Stop chasing perfection. Embrace the beautiful chaos that life is. Be yourself, flaws and all, because that's where the real magic happens. Life is too short to spend it worrying about how you measure up to an ideal that doesn't even exist. Celebrate your uniqueness, quirks, and all the things that make you, you. 5. Money won't buy happiness. Let's talk about something a little controversial. Money won't buy you happiness. Yeah, I know. Gasp. We've all been conditioned to think that if we just had a little more cash, life would be golden. But here's the cold, hard truth. Once your basic needs are met, money is just a tool. It's not the golden ticket to happiness that society sells us. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying money isn't important. Of course it is. We need it to pay our bills and buy groceries. But here's where people get it wrong. They think that money is the end-all be-all solution to every problem. I've been there too. I thought once I got that promotion and started making more, I'd be living the dream. But once I hit that income goal, I found myself feeling just as unfulfilled. Why? Because money doesn't fill the void. It might make life a little easier, but it won't magically make you happier. Here's a fun fact. Research shows that once you hit a certain income level, somewhere around $75,000, additional income doesn't really boost your happiness. It's a wild thought, right? You could be making 6 figures, but if you're not spending that money on things that truly bring you joy or fulfillment, what's the point? People often fall into the trap of thinking they need more to be happier, but the truth is, experiences and relationships have far more value. You know what really brings happiness? Experiences. Think about it. When was the last time you were truly happy? Was it when you bought a new gadget? Or was it when you went on a spontaneous road trip with your friends? For me, I can tell you countless memories from trips, late-night talks with friends, and moments of connection that I wouldn't trade for any amount of money. Those experiences shape us and create joy that material possessions just can't touch. Here's the kicker. Sometimes people with less are happier than those with more because they value the right things. They focus on relationships, experiences, and the little joys of life rather than just accumulating stuff. So, here's my challenge for you. Instead of focusing on making more money, focus on spending what you have on things that matter. Invest in your friendships, travel when you can, try new things, and prioritize the experiences that make your heart sing. Don't get trapped in the cycle of thinking that money is the key to happiness. It's not. The real secret source to happiness is living a life filled with experiences, connections, and moments that take your breath away. So go out there and spend your time and energy on things that truly make you happy and watch how your life transforms. 6. Health is wealth. Let's dive into something crucial. Health is wealth. Yeah, I said it, and it's a lesson that so many people learn way too late. Society has us focused on making money and climbing the career ladder. But here's the kicker. If you don't have your health, all that money doesn't mean squat. You can have the biggest bank account, but if you're physically and mentally unhealthy, you're missing out on the best parts of life. I learned this lesson the hard way. For years, I neglected my health in favor of working late hours, skipping meals, and avoiding exercise. I was all about hustle culture. Sleep when you're dead. I told myself while downing another cup of coffee and pulling another all-nighter. But guess what? I crashed hard. My body sent me warning signs I ignored until I was forced to take a step back and reassess. When I finally hit that wall, I realized my health was the foundation of everything else. Let me break this down. You can't enjoy life when you're constantly fatigued, stressed, or in pain. When you prioritize your health, everything else falls into place. You have more energy, you think clearer, and you can actually enjoy the little moments. Health is your greatest asset, and if you don't take care of it, you risk losing everything else. So, before you hustle yourself into the ground, ask yourself, is this worth my health? Let's not forget mental health too. It's just as important as physical health, and it often gets brushed aside. I used to think mental health was something you could just deal with later. Newsflash: ignoring it only makes it worse. Your mental health affects every aspect of your life, your relationships, your work, your happiness. So prioritizing self-care, setting boundaries, and seeking help when you need it isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Don't wait until your health forces you to slow down. Make a commitment to yourself now. Invest in your body and mind, because they are the true currencies of life. Whether it's exercising, eating well, practicing mindfulness, or just taking time to unwind, prioritize your health over everything else. You'll find that a healthier you creates a more vibrant, fulfilling life. So make the choice today. Your future self will thank you. 7. Failure is part of the journey. Alright, here's the last truth bomb for today. Failure is part of the journey. Seriously, if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. Society likes to paint a pretty picture of success, but let me tell you, behind every successful person is a mountain of failures. So stop letting the fear of failure hold you back. Embrace it, learn from it, grow from it. I can't tell you how many times I've failed at jobs, failed in relationships, failed at personal goals. It used to feel like the end of the world, like I was never going to get back up. But here's the deal. Every time I fell, I learned something valuable. I figured out what didn't work for me, and I adjusted my approach. Each failure was like a stepping stone, leading me closer to where I wanted to be. Here's the thing. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a part of it. If you want to achieve anything worthwhile, you've got to be willing to take risks and possibly fall flat on your face. The most successful people are the ones who've failed the most. They've picked themselves up, dusted themselves off, and tried again. The key is to not let fear of failure stop you from pursuing your dreams. So how do you change your mindset about failure? Start seeing it as an opportunity to learn rather than a setback. Ask yourself, what can I take away from this? What can I do differently next time? Each failure is a lesson waiting to be learned, and those lessons are what propel you forward. Let's be real. Nobody likes failing, but it's how you respond that matters. You can either wallow in self-pity or get back on your feet and keep moving forward. So next time you face a setback, remind yourself that it's just a part of the process. Pick yourself up, learn from it, and keep going. You've got this. Conclusion. Life is a wild ride full of ups and downs, and these truths are just a glimpse into the reality we all face. If you can internalize these lessons, I promise you'll find more joy, fulfillment, and peace along the way. So remember, it's okay to prioritize your needs. Love isn't everything. Perfection is a myth. Money won't buy happiness. Health is wealth, and failure is just part of the journey. Embrace these truths and watch your life transform. You've got the power to create a life that's truly fulfilling.